Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooklyn, and if you're new here, I make book videos and I'm also on the women's basketball team here at the University of Hawaii. I thought I'd give you guys a little tour slash rundown of my physical TBR and all the books that I have. So let's just get started. So on my bookshelf, I only have my top two shelves as my physical TBR, which is really good for me because that means I have less books on my physical TBR, and then the other shelves are just books that I've read in the past year or so. So starting on the first shelf, let me bring you guys closer. So the order that I have these books, I just have them alphabetically lined up. Some of them I just had to stack. I don't really have a lot of room on this bookshelf, but I just make it work. The first book on my physical TBR, I really don't like how close this is. Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I just finished reading When in Rome literally today. This is the next book in the little, it's not a series, I don't know if it's a series. So this book follows Annie, who is Noah's sister from When in Rome, and Will, who's Amelia's bodyguard. Annie, I believe, asks Will to help her practice being in a relationship. There's some continuation of When in Rome between those two characters in the book, so that's why I read that book first. I don't think you have to, but if you want, you can read it in the order. The next book on my TBR is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I bought this book because I watched the movie. Anyways, it was the second Pride and Prejudice, not the original Pride and Prejudice, but I thought, I was like, hey, maybe I should get a book. And then after I got it in the mail, I kind of was intimidated because I saw a lot of people say that they felt stupid reading this. And I don't know if I'm up to read a classic like this. Needless to say, it's on my TBR and I am very excited to read this at some point. Hopefully, maybe I can get it on my Kindle, help me read it faster. The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the second book. I don't know if it's a trilogy or series. Once again, I don't really know how many books are in this. I'm kind of confused about this grouping of books. The second book in the Inheritance Games. I'm just gonna call it a series. I think this is a trilogy, but there's like two other books coming out. Anyways, this is the second book after the Inheritance Games. I also saw a TikTok about a quote from this book. I hope the love triangle is in full kick in this book. That's all I have to say. I'm very excited to read this, and I am definitely planning on reading this in August. The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes as well. This is the third book in the Inheritance Game series. Once again, third book, no clue what it could be about. I bought these two books at the same time with the intention of finishing them very soon. Next is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is another one of her series. So this book, it follows Cassie Hobbs. She has this natural gift to be able to read people, and the FBI call for her to join this naturals program where she meets other teens who are similar in terms of having some special ability that can aid to solving unsolved cold cases. I like to go into my books blind, so I don't really know too much about these. I just know that so many people rave about this book and love this book, so that's like the general gist of this. A lot of people said it gave Criminal Minds vibes, which I love Criminal Minds. Cruel Prince by Holly Black is another book that I was heavily influenced by Book Talk to get based off quotes, and the more I see videos about this book, the more I see a division between people liking it and people disliking it, so I am very curious to see if I will like it. I'm all about the romantices, and I don't know if this has a lot of it in there. I've seen a lot of people say that the quotes that are pulled from it, there's only small amounts of it, so it leads people on. But from what I got from this book is Jude's parents were murdered, and her sisters are forced to live in the treacherous high courts of Fairy. But she doesn't want to be there because I guess the Fae despise humans. And it says, especially Prince Carden, the youngest wickedest son of the High King, and I guess the best way to win a place at the court, she must defy him. So that's that. I still doesn't really give me much information about this book. I'm still have no clue what this could be about, so we shall see. One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I just read the inside of it, kind of confused about what it is. I've seen people describe it as a modern day version of Romeo and Juliet. Basically, there's these two families who have built their own empires, and something happens to where people are now forced into a situation where they have to choose which side they're loyal to. I think another Book Talk book that I was influenced to buy, so if you know anything about this, let me know. So I've heard that her writing is very good. The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I bought this book because my roommate and I watched this movie and I absolutely fell in love with, I can't even think of his name right now, but the main guy who played Liam in this book. I loved everything about that movie. It gave the dystopian vibe of Maze Runner, Hunger Games, Divergent, like that era. And I'm pretty sure they were supposed to make a second movie on it, and then it just got canceled, which is heartbreaking. And I immediately went on Amazon and I ordered it. Basically, this is about, there's this mysterious disease that has gone around, and people were like mind readers, and they could do all these like different things and abilities, and each color determined what they could do. There was like blue, orange, I want to say yellow and green maybe, and Ruby was orange, and I think they're the most dangerous. She's sent to this rehabilitation camp. Basically stuff just goes crazy and she meets a group of friends along the way. It's like a found family vibe, but I definitely want to read the book and continue this series because they didn't make a second movie to it, and I want to see how it also compares to the movie. The Night Shift by Annie Crown. I believe this was a Wattpad book. I know it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I probably will read it on there. To sum it all up, it says, when a college bookworm and the campus basketball star share a sexy encounter in the library stacks, things get complicated. That's basically all it is. Sports romance between shy bookworm and the campus sports star. Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I've recently read her most recent release, which was The Summer Will Be Different, and I love that book. I loved it way more than Every Summer After. Initially, I was kind of hesitant to read this. They meet up once every year type of thing, and that's not my favorite trope in books, so that's why I also haven't been reaching for this book. Honestly, now I really am enjoying Carly Fortune's writing, but I have seen mixed reviews on this book. Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the Maple Hill series. I believe it takes place in like a summer camp, and the main two is Russ and Aurora. Don't really remember Russ in Icebreaker, if I'm gonna be so honest, but I know the third one of this book is supposed to be really good, Daydream or something like that. I don't think it's out yet, but I've seen some people talk about it. Another college sport-ish romance, but it's taking place in a summer camp, which I really like. Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I have seen so many things about this book. I know people either love them or hate them, and they're the vibe of Gossip Girl. I don't really know much about this book, and I'm honestly not going to read the back because I really want to go into this blindly. I just know it's high elite, upper class, wealthy, rich kid society, and they have their problems like that. So I have the new cover of this, and I deep down really wish I had the old version because those covers are so pretty, and I will never understand why they did this. Happy Place by Emily Henry. Also the paperback version. I finally got it. I've seen enough about this book to say that this is about Harriet and Wynn, and I believe they were engaged, called it off or something happened, but they have to still go with their friends to this place for vacation or something. It's an annual getaway that them and their friends go on every year, but they haven't told their friends that they're not together anymore, and they have to act like they are. This is definitely a book I'm excited to read. I know so many people love this book and have reread it. I feel like it's definitely tied with beach read for so many people, so definitely want to get around to this. I try and pace myself with Emily Henry's books because I really like to take my time with her books. Then over here I have this little squishmallow my mom got me. Her name is Joelle. I put her by this stack of books over here. The first book on this stack is Stephen King, The Outsider, and this is my cousin's book and I still have it, so thanks Sam. Probably not watching this, but thank you. This is her book and she loaned it to me, and it's also an HBO series. Dying to watch it. Genuinely would love to watch it. And I also have never read a Stephen King book. I have Insomnia back at home in Idaho. Never got around to reading it. I really want to read one of his books. So it takes place in Oklahoma. 11-year-old boys found murdered at a local park. So the prime suspect is Terry Maitland, one of Flint City's most popular citizens, and he's just really well known in the community. So Detective Ralph Anderson makes a very public arrest. Multiple eyewitnesses and irrefutable evidence mean an ironclad case until the investigation expands and horrifying new details begin to emerge. Terry Maitland seems like a nice guy, but is he wearing another face? When the answer is revealed, it will shock you as only master storyteller Stephen King can. I want to read this book so bad. Maybe it's on Kindle Unlimited. Maybe I'll download it on my Kindle now that I have one because she's a little thick. I also probably want to save this for fall time. Walking Around by Emily Rath. I bought this book on a whim when I was doing an online order at Target. I saw it and I'm a sucker for hockey romances. This book is so thick. Why does this book have so many pages? It does not need to be like this. It is a romance. Let me see how many pages this is. Does it go all the way? Oh, you guys. Wow. Okay, so this book goes all the way to the very last page. So this is 573 pages, is the last page. I have not had the motivation to read this. I really don't even know what this is about, so let's figure this out. Okay, I thought this was definitely giving college, but I think it's professional. I just read the back of this book. This is insane. It's like a love triangle, I believe. She spends this night with this man and there's no strings attached. She thinks that he doesn't know her or remembers her. She ends up getting a 10-month fellowship as a physical therapist for the NHL team that the man that she spent the night with is on. And then there's like his best friend as well as the team equipment manager. It says, still, I can't fall for a player, let alone 3. But honestly, the back does sound very interesting. So I don't know when I'll get to this. This is also on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll probably definitely read it on there and not this book. These two are kind of the random books on this stack. These are all Anna Huang books. So I have the first book. I don't know what the series is called, but I have King of Wrath by Anna Huang. It's a billionaire romance, but it's forced marriage between Dante Russo and Vivian Lau. He's forced to marry her through blackmail. Once again, saw quotes on TikTok, bought the book. I'm a simple girl. Then I have the rest of the Twisted series. I'll go through these pretty quick. We have Twisted Games by Anna Huang. I believe this one's like a bodyguard and Bridget, who's like the princess. Heard this one is probably the best book out of all of the series. The third book of the series is Twisted Hate. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the first girl, I can't remember her name. Her brother Josh is the romance, and then probably one of her friends that was mentioned in the book, the one with the red hair, Jules. So that's between them. I have no clue what this book could be about, genuinely, and I'm really not gonna read the back because I can't really be bothered. And then the final book is Twisted Lies. So this is between Kristen and Stella. Stella's the one that was like social media famous. I really don't remember the people in the Twisted series, like from the first book. I don't really remember them. I just know that as the books go, I'm pretty sure they get better. Fingers crossed. Moving on to the second shelf, I have another Squishmallow that my mom bought me. This one's name is Sai. Sai has been guarding, oops, Sai, please. Sai has been guarding my off-campus series books, and I have them in a little stack over here. It's the fourth book in the off-campus series, The Goal. This is Tucker and Sabrina. Once again, it's another hockey romance. Ooh, this is between Sabrina. If you haven't read the third book, Sabrina's in it, and she's Dean's rival, I'm pretty sure, in that. But not romantically, they were just having beef in school. I love the off-campus series. The Deal will always be my favorite book. And then I believe the fifth book is just wrapping all the couples up together, and it's just life after college. This is The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. I don't know, I've seen so many things where they've talked about that Garrett wasn't Garrett in this book, and that scares me because I love Garrett. Hopefully this book is good and just wraps everything up really nice. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I bought this book because I love Christina Lauren's writing. Also, Christina Lauren, there are two authors. If you didn't know that, now you know. It's like Christina's one and Lauren's the other. I had no clue. I learned about that in the month of June when I read one of their short stories, and I was baffled. But anyways. Oh my gosh, wait, I'm gonna be so honest, I never really read the back of this book. I just trust people's opinions online and I buy the book. So this book follows Olive Torres, who is a twin, and her sister Amy. It just seems everything is going perfect for her, and Olive just can't really catch the same break that her sister has. So Olive, I don't know if she's the bridesmaid or not, but Olive spends the wedding day with the best man, which is in parentheses her nemesis, Ethan Thomas. What ends up happening is everyone at the wedding gets food poisoning. The honeymoon is up for grabs because now the bride and groom can't go. So Olive takes the opportunity to go on the honeymoon, but Ethan also joins her. So they go to Maui for 10 days and they have to assume the role of loving newlyweds. Olive doesn't mind playing pretend. In fact, the more she pretends to be the luckiest woman alive, the more it feels like she might be. I don't know, I love Christina Lauren's writing. They are such great authors. I love Love in Other Words. I actually think I might read this very soon. Maybe this video is the best thing that I could have done because I'm learning what's actually on my TBR. Did you feel the mood drop? This is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. This is a very popular book. So if you do not know this book, this is a YA romance / tragic kind of book. Let me just read the back. It's very short. Autumn and Finn used to be inseparable, but then something changed, or they changed. Now they do their best to ignore each other. Autumn has her boyfriend Jamie and her close-knit group of friends. Finn has become that boy at school, the one everyone wants to be around. That still doesn't stop the way Autumn feels every time she and Finn cross paths, and the growing nagging thought that maybe things could have been different. Maybe they should be together. And as time passes, Autumn realizes she might not get another chance to make things right before it's too late. This is another book that I really want to read. I know the second one recently came out and not that many people liked it because it's not what they expected it to be, but I know this book is really popular. I know it's sad. I read 1,000 Boy Kisses and people said the same thing, so I'm hoping this one's even more sad because I thought 1,000 Boy Kisses was sad, but it didn't really tug at my heartstrings like I thought it would, so hopefully this one really just destroys me. Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I love Lynn Painter's writings. I loved Better Than the Movies, and I know the second one's coming out very soon, but this book I saw when I was at Target one day and I just really wanted to buy a new book. Bailey and Charlie meet. Their first encounter doesn't go that well. They are polar opposites and they just don't get along. A few years later, they end up becoming co-workers and they have a conversation, and actually goes much better than the first time around. So they have this little friendship. Something comes up in conversation where Charlie says that members of the opposite sex cannot be friends, friends. So Bailey is working to prove him wrong and basically try to make him fall in love with her. It says, amidst all their bickering and playful banter, Charlie works to deflect the feelings he develops for Bailey. Basically, I think Charlie starts to fall for Bailey, and then they have to start fake dating because Bailey's mom's new boyfriend. I don't know why that would make them have to start fake dating, but then Charlie realizes that he is falling for Bailey. Bailey eventually starts seeing him in a similar way, but there's another underlying bet that Charlie made with someone else. It says, but Charlie has a secret that involves Bailey and another bet Charlie may have made. Can the two make a real go of things, or has Charlie's secret doomed them before they can start? So it's kind of giving like 10 things I hate about you. That's the vibe I got from it. And the last part was the reason why I bought the book. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right. I feel like I've messed it up in the past. So this book is about Clementine, who I believe moves into her aunt's apartment. I don't know if her aunt passed away. Something happened, but she's in her aunt's apartment and finds a man in the kitchen or something like that. It's a jumping of timelines. So I believe he's 7 years in the past and she's 7 years in the future. I don't know. It actually sounds really interesting, and this is one I really want to get to. Except he exists in the past, 7 years in the past to be exact, and she's quite literally lives 7 years in the future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended like watercolors. She also said that love is never a matter of time, but a matter of timing. Stop it. And Clementine fears she may be 7 years too late. Oh my gosh, I need to read this book. Stephen King, The Body. This book's been adapted into the 1986 classic film Stand By Me. The Body is an iconic exploration of friendship, adventure, and the unforgettable coming-of-age story by master storyteller Stephen King. It is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but this is like a self-help book. I bought this last time when I was home in June. Four Agreements offer a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives to a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and love. And I love self-help books or any kind of books like this. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Once again, very popular in the book community. I have no clue what this is about. So from reading the back of this, Naomi is a runaway bride and she is trying to escape her life, I think. Naomi's riding to the rescue of her estranged hot mess of a twin, Tina, to knock him out a rough around the edges town where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way with fists and beer, usually in that order. Her twin takes Naomi's car and cash and leaves behind a niece that she didn't even know she had. Knox, who I'm assuming is the main MMC in this book, sees everything that happens and doesn't want to leave Naomi stranded, so he offers to help, but it says at the top, Knox Morgan doesn't tolerate drama, especially in the form of a stranded runaway bride. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I finally got this book when I was back at home. That was in my June bookish vlog. I went to Barnes. This is about a woman named Adeline, and she makes this deal with the stranger where I can't remember if it's like she exchanges or makes a deal that she'll live forever, but no one can remember who she is until one day someone does. This takes place in France during 1714. So it's very old-timey vibe. It's almost giving the vibe of Age of Adeline or something. I know it's a movie with Blake Lively in it. This is A Little Life by Anya Yanagihara. I think I'm saying the last name right. You guys, I really tried my best with this. I tried reading it the first time. I got to page 72. I was just so intimidated by the length of this book, and I know this is such a trauma dumping type of book and very sad, and I think this is going to be the only book on this whole TBR that I will not read during my time in college. For some reason, I just want to read this book post-grad. I don't know why. This is definitely a book that I want to be able to have time and sit with and not rush through it or not have other things going on in my life that I'm worried about. I'm probably gonna leave this for way into the future, but I have it. The first time I read it, I kind of softy and effed it, obviously, because it was just a little slow for me and there were so many characters and so much information being thrown out about everyone. I was just so confused and I didn't have the brain power for it. So definitely need some time to sit with this and to read it, and it'll probably be in the very, very future. Flawless by Elsie Silver. This is Rhett and Summer. Rhett is a bull rider, and then I believe Summer is Rhett's agent's daughter, and she's given the task to basically be Rhett's full-time supervisor. I don't know, something sparks from there, and I'm really excited to read these. So Butcher and Blackbird by Brynn Weaver. This is another one that I've seen a lot of praise for, and I know there's a second book that's already out. This is about Sloane and Rowan, a viral friends to lovers dark romantic comedy full of murder, chaos, and sizzling chemistry. So Sloane and Rowan are serial killers, but they kill other serial killers. So I think it's like they're bad but good. Starts as a friendship and goes through romance. The Ritual by Chantal Tessier. I don't know how to say her last name. Sorry. This screams dark romance. Okay, so basically this takes place, it's called Barrington University. It's home of the Lords, a secret society that requires their blood and pavement. Their senior year, they're given the option, or they're offered a chosen one, which I'm assuming is like a woman that they're not forced to marry, but given to marry. Alexander Rat? That's not his name. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I do not know how to pronounce his name. Riot? I have never seen that name before. But he comes along and offers her freedom, and then she promises to be his. I have no clue. Once again, saw it on TikTok and I bought it. That's all I can offer for this. It screams dark romance. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm probably gonna read it on there. The final book on my physical TBR is How Does It Feel by I can't with names. Okay. Janine O'Reilly, I believe I'm saying her name right. I also got the original cover off Amazon because the new cover is just not the same vibe as this one. This one gives me eerie vibes, but I don't think it's like that. I think it's a fantasy. Finds herself falling in a fairy portal and straying into the unseelie Fae Prince. He thinks that she's an assassin sent by the humans to kill him, not a biologist. So he's determined to kill her first, but he's become obsessed with her. So says, if I survive, I gain my freedom, but if not, and then he basically just hates her and wants to kill her, but I think he loves her. So that's his vibe. I have no clue. I saw this book one time on TikTok and this girl was like freaking out about it. I feel like everyone has seen it. I don't know if you've seen the video though, but everyone was like freaking out about this book and loved it. I had to get it off Amazon before they changed the covers completely, and I couldn't find this one anywhere because, I mean, we've seen what they've done with the Magnolia Parks books. This is the Infatuated Fae series. I believe this is also on Kindle Unlimited, but that is the last book on my physical TBR. Let me count how many I have real quick. I messed up. Okay, I have 34 books on my physical TBR, which is not that bad. So my goal from now to the end of the year, and I guess past, is to try and finish my physical TBR by the time I move and graduate from college and move back home. The goal is to have all these read besides A Little Life, because I will not be reading that while I'm in college. The goal is to have all these done by the time I graduate and move back home. So I am going to try and hold myself accountable with all of this. I am also going to be putting myself on a book bind ban. I know I've said this very loosely in the past, but this time I actually mean it. That's everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what's on my physical TBR. Comment down below if you have any of these books on your TBR, and if you've read any of them, what your thoughts and opinions are. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.